I accidentally found out that my mom is cheating on my dad through a conversation my wife had. I always thought eavesdropping was for cowards and perverts, people with nothing better to do than stick their ear against the door and listen for secrets they didn't deserve to know. Turns out, all it takes is one half-open bedroom door and a wife who forgets how thin the walls are to turn you into exactly that: the coward, the accidental eavesdropper, the unwilling witness to your own family's apocalypse. It was a Thursday night, bland as oatmeal. My wife, Erin, was curled up on our bed, phone pressed to her ear. I was heading back upstairs after pretending to fix a leaky faucet just to avoid scrolling doom on my phone for the rest of the night. The hallway light was off, and the door was cracked just enough for her voice to spill out. I paused when I heard my name. No, he has no idea. Can you believe that? He thinks his mom is, like, this perfect housewife. Erin's laugh was soft, embarrassed, like she was half whispering gossip she wasn't sure she should repeat. My foot froze on the top stair. I pressed my palm against the wall, suddenly short of breath in my own damn house. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows. Well, the women, at least. My mom told me years ago. I thought he knew. I didn't think it was a secret. A muffled voice crackled from her speaker. Her best friend, Kara, probably. They gossip about everything. Kara's idiot boyfriend, who's cheating on who at Erin's work, which neighbor didn't return a casserole dish. Never once did I think I'd be the subject. Wait, Kara's voice, fuzzy but clear enough, cut through my disbelief. So he doesn't know his mom is still seeing that guy? That guy. The words slammed into my chest. I pushed the door open another inch, just enough to see Erin sitting cross-legged in an old college hoodie. Twirling her hair like this was just another Thursday chat about brunch plans. No, Erin hissed. God, don't say that so loud. He's downstairs. He thinks his parents are, like, the dream couple. If he finds out she's been seeing Rick or Rich, whatever his name is, for years, he'd lose it. I felt my ribs tighten around my lungs like they were trying to choke the air out of me. Rick or Rich. Some random man's name wedged between my mother and father's 35-year marriage. Kara's reply was muffled, something about poor guy. Erin sighed and flopped back on the bed, her voice drifting to a near whisper. Honestly, I wish I could tell him. But his mom made me promise not to say anything when I found the text that time. She made me swear it was just harmless. I don't know. I thought he'd figured it out by now. My brain did this stupid thing where it tried to reject it all, like maybe I'd fallen asleep fixing the faucet, and this was a stress dream. Except the ache in my knuckles from scraping them on the pipes said otherwise. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a useless calendar reminder about a grocery list. The sound jolted me back into my own skin. I stumbled back from the door before Erin noticed me, my heart rattling around like it didn't know where to go. I didn't go back in. I didn't confront her. I just turned and walked into the guest room and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the beige wall until the taste of metal faded from my mouth. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. Erin didn't suspect anything. She curled up against me like usual, draped her arm over my chest, told me about work gossip, and asked if we should try for a baby next year. Meanwhile, all I could see behind my eyelids was my mother's smile at Sunday dinners, her careful hand on my dad's shoulder when she passed him the mashed potatoes, the way she still called him love when they thought no one was listening. The next day, I told Erin I was going over to help my parents with their garden. I think she believed me. She kissed my cheek and told me to ask Mom for her chili recipe. I drove there with my stomach in knots. I half expected to find some stranger's car in the driveway, my mother in a silk robe entertaining her Rick or Rich in the kitchen. Instead, she opened the door in her gardening gloves, cheeks flushed with the sun, looking exactly like the mother I'd always known. Hey, honey. She pulled me into a hug that felt like it burned my skin. Your dad's out back with a mower. Want some lemonade? I stood there in the foyer, watching her wander toward the kitchen, humming under her breath. I wanted to scream. Who is he? How could you do this? But the word stuck somewhere between my teeth and my gut. Instead, I asked to borrow her phone. Something about a recipe I needed to copy. I can't even remember the lie I told. She handed it over without blinking. I locked myself in the upstairs bathroom and sat on the closed toilet, scrolling. My fingers shook so bad I nearly dropped the phone twice. But there it was, tucked between normal messages about lunch plans with her church group and photos of her friend's cat, a string of texts from R. Can't wait to see you next week. Miss your laugh. Tell him you're at book club. I'll bring your favorite wine. Love you, beautiful. I don't know how long I sat there staring at those words. I felt like someone had punched a hole through my stomach and poured ice water into my spine. I didn't confront her that day. I handed the phone back, forced a smile, drank her lemonade, pretended to weed the backyard while my dad asked if I'd help him fix the shed next weekend. I felt like a ghost in my own childhood home. And when I got back in my car, I just sat in the driveway staring at my parents' house, the bricks, the garden gnomes, The wind chimes Mom hung because she liked the sound when Dad mowed the lawn. All of it felt fake now, like a cheap movie set built to hide something rotten behind the walls. By the time I got home, I decided I had to confront her. But not yet. I needed to see if Erin would confess first. I needed to know if my wife, had been lying to me too. Of course, she had. And the worst part? She thought she was protecting me. Like I was too fragile to handle my own mother's dirt. So here I am now, writing this because I don't know who else to tell. And if you're reading this, maybe you'd know what to do when everything you love feels like a staged lie waiting to collapse on your head. They say when you dig for the truth, you'd better be ready to get your hands dirty. Turns out, you'd better be ready to bury parts of yourself too, parts that can't survive what you're about to find. I wish I'd known that before I sat across from my mother at her kitchen table, pretending to sip chamomile tea while she asked me about my work, my marriage, my life, like she wasn't secretly shoving a knife through my father's back one discreet hotel rendezvous at a time. I didn't plan to confront her that day. I told myself I'd gather more evidence first, bank statements, maybe catch her in the act if I could stomach it. But the lie of it all sat in my mouth like a rotten tooth. I couldn't chew my sandwich. Couldn't pretend to care about her neighbor's dog or her recipe for zucchini bread. So I just blurted it out. "Who's Rick?" Her spoon clinked against her mug. She blinked at me, eyes wide behind her reading glasses. For a second, she looked so small, so harmless, that I almost took it back. But then she gave me that tight smile mothers give when they're about to scold you for something you shouldn't know. "Where did you hear that name?" The worst part? She didn't even deny it. Didn't flinch, didn't pretend to be confused. She just asked how I knew. I told her I'd seen the messages. That Erin had known for years. That everyone apparently knew except Dad and me. She set her spoon down, folded her hands, looked at me like she was about to explain why Santa Claus isn't real, but in a way that made it my fault for believing so long. "Honey, it's not what you think." I laughed, a sharp, ugly sound that made her wince. "What is it then, Mom? Is it not an affair? Is it not cheating?" She exhaled slowly, like she'd been rehearsing this conversation for decades. Maybe she had. "It's not like that, sweetheart. Rick is. He's a friend. Someone I talk to. Someone who listens when your father doesn't." "Don't," I snapped. "Don't you dare put this on Dad." I hate how my voice cracked. I hate how part of me still wanted her to hug me and say it was all a misunderstanding. But instead, she reached across the table and grabbed my hand, her palm warm and dry and shaking just a little. "Your father hasn't touched me in years," she said, so calmly I almost didn't catch it. "Not really. Not the way a man should love a woman. He sleeps in that chair half the night, snores for my birthday, forgets anniversaries. He's not bad. He's just cold." Her words bounced off the floral wallpaper and stuck in my throat. I thought about Dad, falling asleep with the TV on, missing my soccer games back in high school because he was working late. Mom never complained then. She just made dinner, packed his lunch, kissed his cheek. I thought they were happy because they didn't scream at each other like my friend's parents did. Turns out, silence doesn't mean peace. Sometimes it just means no one's listening. "I'm not leaving him," she continued. Her grip on my hand tightened, her nails pressing little half-moons into my skin. "I never would. Rick is just someone who reminds me I'm still alive. And Dad? He doesn't deserve to know." She flinched like I'd slapped her. "What good would that do? You want to destroy him? Destroy this family? For what? Some moral high ground?" I pulled my hand back so hard the mug rattled. My chest burned. "So you want me to just sit on this? To lie every Sunday when we come over and pretend I don't know?" Her eyes shone with tears she didn't let fall. She's always been good at that. Holding it in, swallowing it down. "I see now that's probably how this mess started." "Please," she whispered. "You have your own life. Your own wife. Don't carry this. Please, baby, just let it be." The word baby made my skin crawl. I wasn't her baby anymore. I was a grown man watching the scaffolding of his childhood collapse in real time. When I got home, Erin was waiting in the living room, scrolling through her phone like nothing had changed. I dropped my keys too hard on the table. She looked up, startled. I didn't even let her ask. "How long?" I asked. She knew what I meant. Didn't even pretend to misunderstand. She closed her eyes. 2 years. 2 years. I repeated, the word sour on my tongue. "And you never thought maybe I'd want to know my mom screwing around behind Dad's back?" Her shoulders slumped. "It's not my secret to tell, Alex." I laughed. A short, mean bark that made her flinch. "Bullshit. You lied to me every time we went over there. Every time you hugged her." Erin's eyes filled up with tears. I hated it. Hated how I still wanted to wipe them away even while I wanted to scream. She begged me not to. "I didn't want to hurt you. So instead you let me be the idiot. The only idiot who didn't know." She tried to reach for me. I stepped back. I couldn't stand the thought of her hands on me. Hands that had held this secret like poison, dripping it out with every fake smile at Sunday dinner. So now here I am, alone in the guest room again, typing this out because I don't know what the hell to do next. My mother wants me to stay silent. My wife wants me to forgive her for keeping her promise. And my dad's in his recliner right now, snoring in front of a rerun he's probably seen 100 times, with no idea his marriage is a stage play, and he's the only one who doesn't know the ending. I know I have to decide soon. To tell him, or not. To rip it all open, or let it rot behind closed doors. Either way, it feels like I'm the one who loses. I always thought secrets were like splinters. Dig them out fast, and it hurts. But at least you heal. Turns out, some secrets aren't splinters. They're rusted nails buried deep in the frame of your house. Pull them out, and the whole place might come crashing down. Leave them in, and they rot everything from the inside out. There's no painless way to live with that. No clean fix. Just rot or ruin. Pick your poison. 2 days after I confronted my mom, I sat across from my dad in his garage. He was tinkering with his old lawnmower, the same one I pretended to fix with him when I was 12 so I could feel like a man. He still talks to it like it's a stubborn mule, cursing under his breath when the pull cord jams. I watched him wipe his hands on a rag older than I am, humming some tune from the 70s. He looked so ordinary. So him. I opened my mouth 3 times to tell him, "Mom's cheating on you." 3 times, the words stuck behind my teeth like they were made of barbed wire. He asked if I'd help him pick up new spark plugs next weekend. I said sure. Liar. I drove home wondering if I was just as guilty now. Maybe silence makes you an accomplice. Maybe I'm no better than Erin, or Mom, or all the other women in the family who apparently decided Dad didn't deserve the truth. Maybe none of us deserve it. I wish I could say Erin and I talked it through like adults. We didn't. We tiptoed around each other for days, orbiting the same cramped kitchen like polite strangers. I slept in the guest room. She left me plates of reheated leftovers on the counter, like we were roommates playing house. One night, I finally sat down next to her on the couch. She muted the TV. Some dumb reality show. It felt obscene. All those people crying about fake drama when my whole life was a soap opera with no commercial breaks. "I can't stand you right now," I said, staring at the black screen. "I know," she whispered. "Did you ever think about telling me?" "Ever?" She picked at her thumbnail, eyes shiny in the blue light from the TV. "I did. 100 times. But then I'd see your mom at dinner, laughing with your dad, or baking cookies with you for Christmas. And I'd think, who am I to ruin that? Who am I to drop a grenade in your family's living room?" I barked out a laugh. "Guess I should thank you for letting me live in a lie, huh?" "Alex, please," she reached for my hand. I let her hold it. It felt wrong, warm and familiar, and completely foreign at the same time. "You should have told me," I said. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just said it like a fact, and it landed between us like a coffin we both knew we'd never bury properly. After that, I did what any emotionally stable grown man does when his world implodes. I turned into a detective. I dug through Mom's text again, found old photos on her Facebook that made my stomach turn. Rich, whoever the hell he is, was there in the background sometimes. At a charity auction. At some friend's wedding. He'd been lurking behind family pictures like a ghost I never saw. I checked her credit card statements. Hotel charges. Dinner spots Dad hates, but Mom treated herself to alone, apparently. It wasn't just emotional, like she claimed. It never is. People don't sneak around for years just to hold hands and drink wine in a parked car. Every new scrap of proof made my chest tighter. But none of it made the choice any clearer. Tell Dad, watch him break. Stay silent, watch myself break. Both roads lead straight to hell, just different directions. Yesterday, Mom called me. Just her voice on the line made my stomach clench. "Hi, honey. I made your favorite pie. Want to come by this weekend?" I almost hung up. Instead, I heard myself ask, "Does Dad know?" Dead silence. I could hear her breathe. Could almost hear her calculating which version of the truth she could still sell me. "No," she said finally. "And he doesn't need to." I wanted to scream that she didn't get to decide that it wasn't her secret to keep anymore. But I didn't. I just said, "Okay, Mom," like I was 13 again, and she'd asked if I'd done my homework. So now I'm here, lying on this lumpy guest bed, staring at the ceiling like the answer's written up there in the cracks. Erin's asleep in our room, or pretending to be. My dad's probably snoring in his recliner, dreaming about that damn lawnmower. And my mom is probably lying next to him right now, scrolling her phone under the covers, sending him a goodnight text. I know what you're thinking. Man up. Tell him. Rip the bandage off. But I keep seeing his face when he laughs at his dumb TV shows. When he asks me if I want a beer after mowing the lawn. He's not perfect. He's never been warm, exactly. But he doesn't deserve this. So tell me, Internet, strangers who don't know me but might understand better than the people who do, what would you do? Would you blow it all up? Or would you let the rot stay buried behind the drywall and pretend you don't hear the termites chewing through the beams? I used to think limbo was just a church word for dead babies and unbaptized souls. Now I know limbo is sitting in your parked car outside your parents' house at midnight, staring at your own reflection in the rearview mirror, wondering if you're about to kill the only version of your family you ever knew. Limbo is the seconds between knowing what you have to do and actually doing it, and realizing you might never move at all. I've spent more hours in this driveway in the last week than I have in the last 10 years combined. The bricks look different at night, like they're keeping secrets. The porch light is still on. Mom probably leaves it for Dad when he wanders out for his midnight snack of stale cookies and a glass of milk he drinks straight from the carton when he thinks no one's watching. I used to think that was the height of domestic peace, a dad who steals cookies in the dark, a mom who hums to herself while she folds laundry. Now all I see are cracks, hairline fractures that were always there if I'd bothered to look close enough. I came here tonight ready to tell him. That's what I told myself. I had the speech rehearsed in my head. Dad, sit down. Mom's cheating. Here's the proof. I'm so sorry. But I'm still in the damn car, 15 minutes later, watching my own breath fog up the window because I'm too much of a coward to get out and finish what I started. The thing is, it would be easier if Dad were awful. If he were some drunk who knocked us around when I was a kid. If he cheated first, or gambled our money away, or had a whole secret family across town. But he didn't. He's just Dad. Half there, half checked out sometimes, but never cruel. Never mean. Just a man whose eyes glaze over during small talk but light up when I ask him about old car engines or that fishing trip we keep saying we'll take but never do. What's the punishment for being an inattentive husband? Is it this? Is it fair? I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to know. Maybe my mom's right. Maybe it's not my job to swing the wrecking ball. Maybe I should just lock the secret up inside my ribcage and carry it until it eats me alive. I thought about calling Erin, or Kara, or hell, even my sister, except she's worse than Erin, the queen of let's not stir the pot. She probably knew too. They all knew. It's like they formed this little club, the Secret Keeper Society, and I'm the only one who didn't get the invitation. Erin tried to talk to me last night. She found me in the guest room, half drunk, half dead behind the eyes. She sat on the floor beside the bed and whispered, "You don't have to do this if it'll break you." She sounded so sad, like she wanted to crawl inside my skin and make it all disappear. I wanted to scream at her. Tell her it's not her choice to make me the family executioner. That I hate her for keeping me in the dark. That I love her anyway, which makes me hate myself twice as much. But all I did was stare at the ceiling until she gave up and left. So here I am, in this car that suddenly feels smaller than a coffin, turning the keys in my hand over and over like they're rosary beads. I keep picturing Dad's face when I tell him. Does he cry? Does he yell? Does he shrug and say he already knew? Part of me almost wants that, for him to say he's known all along, that it's fine, that this marriage is some stale contract they're both too old to break. That would make this easier, right? If they're both complicit? If I can blame them both for ruining my neat little fantasy? Except I know him. I know he doesn't know. He's not that good an actor. He'd rather die than look like a fool, and that's exactly what he'll feel like when he hears the truth. I get out of the car anyway. My knees pop when I stand. Too many nights sleeping on that godforsaken guest bed. I walk up the path, the gravel crunching under my boots louder than my heartbeat. I stand at the front door and raise my fist to knock, but I stop. I peek through the window like I'm 10 years old again, checking if Dad fell asleep with the TV on so I could sneak an extra cookie. He's there. Same recliner, same blanket, same half-empty glass of milk on the side table. He looks older than I remember, his mouth open in a soft snore. Mom's not around. Probably in bed, or texting Rick sweet nothings about how lonely she feels. He twitches in his sleep, and I swear I see it. The child version of myself, perched on the armrest, asking him to read me the same book for the 100th time. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who sat through my terrible high school band concerts with a stiff smile and clapped louder than anyone else. Is that the man I'm about to shatter? I can't do it. Not tonight. Not like this. While he's sleeping and soft and harmless. He deserves to hear it awake, at least. Maybe he deserves not to hear it at all. I back away from the door, feeling the heat drain from my face. I'm shaking. I hate myself for it. I hate that I can't do the right thing because I don't even know what that is anymore. I drive home in silence, gripping the wheel so tight my knuckles ache. When I get inside, Erin's waiting on the couch, legs tucked under her like she's been bracing for a verdict. She doesn't ask. I don't tell her. I just go to bed, our bed this time, not the guest room, and lie there staring at the ceiling, counting the hours until dawn. So that's where I am now, stuck in limbo. Half a son, half a traitor, half a coward. I know I can't sit here forever. Eventually, something's got to give. Me, Dad, Mom's excuses, the lie that used to be my family. I'm asking you again, what would you do? Would you smash it all open and watch it burn? Or would you patch over the rot and pretend it's still a home? There's a moment, right before you pull a trigger, where you realize you can't put the bullet back in the chamber. That's where I am now, finger hovering over the trigger, heart pounding like it knows what comes next, brain screaming at me to just walk away. But I can't. I know myself well enough to know I'll never sleep again if I don't fire this shot. It happened 2 nights after I sat in that car like a ghost. Erin had gone to bed early, or at least she pretended to. I was on the couch, TV muted, staring at some mindless cooking show with the subtitles on, wondering if I'd ever eat again without tasting metal in my mouth. That's when my phone buzzed. Mom, can you come over tomorrow? Just you. We need to talk. I don't know why that text snapped something in me. Maybe it was the we. The way she still talked like she and I were on the same team. Like we were co-conspirators in this polite little crime of silence. I realized right then I couldn't stand to be her accomplice 1 second longer. So I didn't wait for tomorrow. I got in the car, drove across town in the dark, my fingers tapping the steering wheel like I was afraid they'd seize up if I stopped moving. I didn't even knock this time. I let myself in with the old spare key hidden under the fake rock by the porch. Mom was in the kitchen when I walked in, still in her robe, her hair wrapped in a towel. She looked startled for half a second, then forced that soft, motherly smile that made my skin crawl now. Alex, it's late. What are you? I cut her off. Where's Dad? She hesitated. Sleeping. What? I didn't answer. I just brushed past her, the linoleum cold under my socks. The hallway seemed longer than it had any right to be. Every step felt like I was walking into a burning house. Except I was the one with the match. I stood in their bedroom doorway for a second. Dad was half sitting, half sprawled on the bed, snoring softly. The TV flickered on mute. An old western, two men facing each other in the desert, guns drawn. Funny how the universe can't resist symbolism when it knows you're paying attention. I flicked the lamp on. Dad squinted into the light, blinking like he couldn't tell if I was real. Alex? Something wrong, kiddo? That kiddo just about broke me. I sat on the edge of the bed and looked at him, really looked. The lines around his eyes, the soft patch of skin under his chin, the way his hands twitched like he was ready to grab a wrench and fix something if I asked. Dad, we need to talk. Mom was in the doorway behind me now, hugging her robe closed like that would protect her. Her eyes pleaded, don't do it. Please, don't do it. But she didn't say a word. Maybe she knew begging wouldn't work anymore. About what, son? Dad asked. He rubbed his eyes. It can't wait till morning. And that's when I did it. I opened my mouth and let the bullet fly. Mom's been seeing someone. For years. It felt like throwing up poison I'd swallowed too long ago to spit out. The words hit the air like a hammer. Dad's face didn't change at first. He just stared at me like he couldn't translate what I'd said. He looked at Mom. She flinched. That was all it took. The way she looked down at her bare feet like a guilty teenager. He saw it. And in that moment, he knew. He didn't yell. Didn't cry. He just sat there, blinking, breathing slow like he was trying to keep his heart from detonating. Is it true? He asked her. His voice was so quiet I almost wished he'd screamed instead. Mom opened her mouth, closed it, nodded. That nod felt louder than a gunshot. I stood there while they broke apart in front of me. Dad asked questions that made my stomach churn. How long? Who is he? Do I know him? Mom answered in half words and shrugs, her voice cracking. She tried to reach for his hand. He pulled away so fast it was like she'd burned him. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't move. I'd started this. I owed him this. When Dad's eyes finally landed back on me, he looked so old. Older than I'd ever seen him. Like I'd watched him age 10 years in 10 minutes. How long have you known? The question hit harder than anything else. Because the answer, days, felt like betrayal anyway. He stared at me like he wasn't sure if I was his son or just another liar standing in his bedroom with bloody hands. I didn't sleep that night. Mom tried to talk to me after Dad locked himself in the bathroom. I didn't listen. I walked out, got in my car. I didn't even look back at her standing on the porch in her robe, begging me to stay, begging me to help her fix something I never broke. It's been a week. Dad's staying at a motel now. He texted me once, just, thanks for telling me. I wish I'd heard it from her. I didn't have the guts to answer. Erin asked if I feel better now that it's out in the open. I laughed in her face. Better? Sure. Like tearing out an infected tooth with pliers makes you better. Mom keeps calling. I let it ring. I'm not ready. Maybe I never will be. So here I am. I did it. I pulled the trigger. The truth's out. The bullet's lodged somewhere none of us can dig out. And if you're still reading this, maybe you'll understand when I say, I don't feel brave. I don't feel righteous. I feel like a son who shot holes in his own family and called it mercy. Maybe it was mercy. Maybe it wasn't. All I know is there's no putting it back now. So if you're sitting on a secret of your own, wondering if you should speak or stay silent, I can't tell you what's right. I can only tell you what it cost me. And ask you this. Would you have pulled the trigger too?